Democratic Congressman Tom Suozzi of New York wrote a letter to the president last month asking to meet to discuss immigration reforms after the migrant crackdown hit close to home for the lawmaker. And Congressman Suozzi joins us now. It's good to have you on the show,
Congressman,
sir.
very good to have you with us. Let's talk about some areas where there can be where Republicans and Democrats can come together, where Congress and the White House can come together for meaningful immigration reform. If you look at the southern border, illegal crossings have dropped to I think record lows, at least over the past 50, 60 years. So it seems like that issue certainly is taken off the table for now. But what else can be done where we can stop seeing these images on TV because a bipartisan immigration bill has been reached that the president will sign?
Yeah, it's not going to be easy, but I think the cruelty that you're hearing about this morning and the mistakes that you're going to see the administration make, like any government would make when they try to do a massive enforcement effort, will backfire on them. And we have to continue to secure the border. The things the president has done have been successful, but if you want to make it permanent, you need the Congress to actually pass a law. We need to fix the broken asylum system. It's being abused by too many people for such a long period of time. And Democrats and Republicans have to stop fighting each other and have a common enemy. Our common enemy should be the cartels and the organized crime and the people that are exploiting people, charging them $10,000 apiece to bring them to the southern border to show them how to break the rules for asylum. But most importantly is we need to legalize a bunch of these folks that have been here for a decade or more and have not committed crimes. The president said the other day, and we have to lean into this, the president said, you know, there's a lot of good people there that are working at these farms, that are working in hospitality, and they may not have the right documentation, but we have to use some common sense. Now, Stephen Miller is, pushing against that, but the president has said this again on several occasions. We need to lean into that. Let's make a deal so that we can legalize, not necessarily provide a pathway to citizenship, but legalize people so that they can work and live in the United States of America and pay taxes and live a decent life, especially if you've been here for 10 or 20 or 30 years and you haven't otherwise committed a crime. So let's figure out how the farm workers and the healthcare workers and the hospitality workers can live here and have a decent life.
And Congressman, you bring up such a great point. If the president and if other people in his party want these changes to be permanent, you don't do that by executive order, by executive fiat. You don't do that by changing some regulations. You do that by passing a bipartisan law. There seems to be an appetite for that now in Congress, where you can pass a bipartisan law and, again, keep the border secure as it is right now. But also, you talked about the people who've been here 5, 10, 20, 25 years. I think about the mother whose two sons who served in the Marine Corps escorted her to her meeting on immigration. Here's a mom that worked hard, raised two sons. They both served in uniform as United States Marines. That's somebody we ought to figure out, again, if not a pathway to citizenship without going back to her home country and then reapplying and being put on an expedited list, at least allow her to be legal here, because, when you raise two United States Marines, you're doing a good job for
and
America.
There are millions of stories like that, Joe. Millions of stories in America of people working hard 6 days a week, going to church on Sunday, who just want to live a better life. And there are Democrats and Republicans in the Congress that want to do this. They want to get it done. The Republicans are afraid of going out in front of the president. The president has given a little bit of an opening by talking about farm workers and hospitality workers. We should expand that to other folks in essential industries. And we need to build a coalition, which I've been working on, but we have to do more of it, of business, badges, and the Bible. Put these folks together, people that realize that these folks are essential to our economy, law enforcement that doesn't want to have to deal with this at the local level where people are afraid to report crimes because they're afraid they're going to get deported, and the Bible. People just care about other people who realize separating families is just inhumane. People who've been here for 10, 20, 30 years who don't even know the country they came from anymore. It's inhumane to send them back.
Congressman, your latest op-ed in the Wall Street Journal is about the New York mayor's race, and it's entitled, "For Democrats, Mamdani is a wake-up call and a bad example." And in it, you write in part, quote, "Mr. Mamdani tapped into the same economic discontent, the same zeitgeist that powered Mr. Trump's rise. Democrats must recognize that the future starts with a message of economic security for American families." You continue, "There's another way. Democrats can embrace the need to address the people's angst about the economy and affordability without embracing the socialism of Mr. Mamdani or the extremism of Mr. Trump. We need not mirror them, but understand what their victories revealed. A deep frustration with politics as usual and a longing for leaders who address kitchen table concerns. Reclaiming that focus isn't just smart politics for Democrats, it's a return to our roots."
So, Congressman, why is it that in the Democratic Party, the three most compelling figures, the mayoral candidate, Bernie Sanders, and AOC, the three most compelling figures since the election, have been far left of, let's say, the mainstream of a lot of Americans? Why can't moderate Democrats, why can't conservative moderate Democrats like you make that same compelling message?
Yeah, so let me make it clear that I disagree with Mr. Mamdani, that I'm a democratic capitalist, not a democratic socialist. But he, like I said, has tapped into, as Bernie Sanders has tapped into, this economic discontent. If you ask the American people, what are the issues you care about the most? They'll say, number one, the economy, number two, immigration, number three, taxes, number four, crime, and number five, health care. If you ask those same people, what's the Democrats' agenda? They'll say choice, LGBT protections, health care, a little bit of crossover there, protecting democracy, and climate change. Those are all important issues, but that's not what everybody's talking about every night. They're talking about, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to address the economic problems I face in my family? So we need to do a better job as Democrats talking about these kitchen table issues, these bread and butter issues about the economy. What are we going to do to raise the minimum wage? What are we going to do to build unions? What are we going to do to reshore industries in America that are going to provide jobs that people who are, whether you're a right-wing conservative or a left-wing progressive, everybody in America should believe that if I'm willing to work hard, in return for working hard, I make enough money so I can buy a house, educate my kids, pay for health insurance, and retire one day without being scared. That used to be the American dream. That's what slipped away from us. We have to propose solutions as to how we're going to get back to that place. Hard work gets rewarded with a decent life. That's America. And we have to get back to that basic, simple, fundamental message.
Congressman, Mr. Mamdani's coalition was very young. It was a group of younger voters that turned out to cast their ballots for him. What message do you think those younger Democrats are sending to your colleagues in the Democratic Party and establishment, and how do you think the party should respond?
They're saying, what about me? You know, you guys are fighting about this stuff. You're finger pointing. You're taking care of all these different. What about me? What are you doing for my life? And my life is unaffordable. I can't afford to live here. I can't afford, the rent's too damn high. You know, I can't live a good life. I'm willing to work hard. I'm willing to do my share, but I want a decent life in return for that. And politicians, especially in my party, Democrats, me, we have to do a better job of communicating that we see you, we hear you, and we're going to try and do things with industrial policy in America, with the manufacturing policy, with all the tariff stuff, taxes, everything else. What are we going to do to build more housing that's affordable for you to make your life better?
And make no mistake of it, the AI revolution
that
we're not about to get hit with,
it's a tsunami,
but is hitting right now, is already costing college kids who are graduating entry-level jobs. It's going to cost hundreds of thousands of jobs for white-collar workers, for blue-collar workers. I mean, this this issue becomes even more complicated.
Absolutely.
And Democrats better get their arms around it.
Democratic Congressman Tom Suozzi of New York, thank you very much.
Thank you.
for
Let
being
me
on the show
just
this
say,
morning.
as a capitalist, a proud capitalist, let me just say, socialism won't get it, and also unbridled, untethered capitalism won't get it either.
Got to be a balance.
We're going to have to have a balance.
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
I get that.
एक घने जंगल में जानवरों के बच्चे पढ़ाई के शौकीन थे, लेकिन वहाँ कोई टीचर नहीं था। एक दिन एक काला सांप सामने आया। सब डर गए, लेकिन सांप ने प्यार से कहा, मैं किसी को नुकसान नहीं पहुँचाऊंगा, मैं सिर्फ ज्ञान बांटना चाहता हूँ। बच्चों ने डरते डरते पढ़ना शुरू किया। सांप बहुत समझदार था। वो मैथ, साइंस और कहानियां भी सिखाता था। वो ब्लैक बोर्ड पर अपनी पूंछ से लाइन खींचता और उसकी आवाज इतनी मीठी थी कि सब ध्यान से सुनते थे। कुछ हफ्तों बाद वही बच्चे जंगल के सबसे समझदार बन गए। बंदर ने अपनी मम्मी से कहा, सांप टीचर बहुत अच्छे हैं। शेर के बच्चे ने कहा, अब हमें किसी से डर नहीं लगता, क्योंकि ज्ञान ने हमें ताकत दी है। एक दिन एक इंसान जंगल में आया। उसने सांप को देखा और मारने दौड़ा, लेकिन सारे जानवर उसके सामने खड़े हो गए। ये हमारे टीचर हैं, हमारे गाइड हैं। इंसान हैरान रह गया और सांप को छोड़कर चला गया। काला सांप मुस्कुराया और बोला, ज्ञान हमेशा अंधेरे को रोशनी में बदल देता है।